network of violence and hatred. Our economy is badly weakened, a consequence of greed and irresponsibility on the part of some, but also our collective failure to make hard choices.
Because of the greed of some. We have an article up there on Infowars.com right now detailing that Gethner, his pick for Treasury Secretary, who doesn't pay his taxes to the private banks that he works for, was involved in all the major brokerage scams. They ran the scams, and then now they're, quote, bailed out with your money, but won't say where the money's going and say, we need another big bailout now to free up credit to you, the American people, which all that will do is then accelerate inflation. But if we're going to have inflation, why just have it to give it to the bankers? Well, we might as well, have some benefit from it. It's still going to be bad, but it's much worse this way. So listen, the irresponsibility of some, namely everybody coming into my administration, and the fact that he got 4 times the overall contributions from Wall Street, and from some of the big firms 5 times, like Goldman Sachs, than McCain got. And I'm not saying vote for McCain. The enemy owned both horses in the race, both fighters, like a Don King boxing match. But the one they wanted was Obama, because as Kissinger said, he has got this messianic persona, very charismatic, so he can sell the New World Order worldwide, which is, he's saying it on TV, and the FBI training manual will say you're a terrorist if you say that the New World Order exists. But he's on CNBC saying it, and they're all saying it. So see, he's saying one thing, but all his pundits and the people running him, they're arrogantly saying, this is a great opportunity for us. We're going to bring in the New World Order. So back that up. Listen to that. Irresponsibility of the bankers, of some in high places, but all of us collectively. And again, any good lie has truth in it. It's true. We've been lazy. We've been stupid. We've been disconnected. We were dumb and let people give us credit cards. We didn't have a capacity to pay it back. But they did that because it was all fiat currency they began with. And they took those debt instruments and they sold the car debt and the credit card debt and the house debt to other investors as if it was a value as good as gold. So see, they made the credit card debt up out of nothing that we, the taxpayer, back up. Did you know that? And then they buy up everything with it. It's just so sick.
Of violence and hatred. Our economy is badly weakened, a consequence of greed and irresponsibility on the part of some, but also our collective failure to make hard choices.
Wait a minute. The globalists promised us that globalism, NAFTA, GATT, letting countries have huge tariffs on us, but we couldn't have tariffs on them. That's the so-called free trade, where they have no environmental standards, nothing in China and India and Mexico. And then slave wages, so that's not an equal playing field, so there's no way all the industry wouldn't leave. The globalists state in their own documents that was to get full control of our economy, so when they did implode it, that no one would have a way to protect themselves and everybody would fall under the control of the superstate. So see, because of the greed of a few and our collective, badness, the people in every major poll were against NAFTA and GATT, and they're against the SPP. That he's now saying he's going to expand the North American Union when he said 8 months ago he was going to stop it. And then remember his handler in Canada, a speech said, don't worry, that's all rhetoric. And now Obama last week went on Stephanopoulos' show and said, yeah, it's just rhetoric. There's so many lies here. How am I ever going to play all this? It's just everything is deception. Everything is fraud coming out of this guy. So, some bad people did this and you did this. We're all collectively bad. See, we're all together. You've got to do what we say. We're all guilty. No, we're not all guilty. So he says, our economy's in trouble because of a few bad decisions. No, it wasn't decisions. It was done on purpose. This is globalization. This is blow out economies with shock therapy, as the IMF says, to consolidate them.
And prepare the nation for a new age.
Oh, you want some New World Order talk? We've had this big crisis. We're having this economic problem. It isn't caused because of globalization by design. It's because we're all bad as Americans. But don't worry, I'm going to prepare you for a new age. Listen to that. Listen to that again.
Network of violence and hatred. Our economy is badly weakened, a consequence of greed and irresponsibility on the part of some, but also our collective failure to make hard choices and prepare the nation for a new age.
Did you hear that? So again, the very banks that represent him, the very banks that he pushed for the banker bailout to fully take over and give them governmental power, and they won't say where the trillions are, he's now saying give them even more power. These are the very people that were irresponsible. No, they carried out a military operation, a financial warfare op against us. So now we're all responsible, and we've got to accept the new age, which is giving them total world government power as announced by Newsweek.
Homes have been lost, jobs shed, businesses shuttered. Our health care is too costly, our schools fail too many.
So government got involved in health care 50 years ago, and now it's bankrupt, and the states are all going bankrupt, so the feds can come in and take over. Again, that blows them out, with federal mandates to give illegal aliens total health care at exorbitant prices, tens of billions of dollars in California and Texas alone. His answer is more government welfare, more government control, which is then eugenics, because through socialized, controlled health care, the government can force you to take the treatments they want, and they can control medicine even more and cover up all their soft kill operations they're doing through the vaccines and drugs and the food.
And each day brings further evidence that the ways we use energy strengthen our adversaries and threaten our planet.
Okay, the federal government for decades has only allowed one pipeline out of Alaska. In one area alone, there's more oil than in all of Saudi Arabia. It could have been here decades ago. They get up on TV and lie and say, if we got all the oil from Alaska, give us 1% more. And, and so you've got to let us change our energy policy. But all that means is taxing and regulating and controlling. So that strengthens our enemies. So we've got to fix our energy. But instead of really fixing our energy and really going to a new energy system, which the feds actually try to block, they are going to bring in all these taxes and regulations.
These are the indicators of crisis, subject to data and statistics. Less measurable, but no less profound, is a sapping of confidence across our land.
Okay, they told us the economy was great for decades as they shifted us from a manufacturing to a debtor-based service economy, so we would be totally under their control and not be independent. And the government documents state they want that, destroy the family, break down communities, bankrupt the states with unfunded mandates. And then he comes in and talks about how we're losing our houses and losing our jobs, all done by design. Let's back that up again because I want to comment on it.
Our planet. These are the indicators of crisis, subject to data and statistics. Less measurable, but no less profound, is a sapping of confidence across our land.
Okay, now what happened? The bankers told us everything was great while they were setting this up, while we were all going into debt, while the society was falling apart. And then they come out 5 months ago and say, pass our banker bailout bills, do whatever we say, or we're going to have a depression, when they engineered it. They're given dictatorial power. They destroy the confidence. The markets start plunging. They admit we're going into a depression. And then now, oh, you've had bad confidence. It's your fault.
A nagging fear that America's decline is inevitable, that the next generation must lower its sights. Today, I say to you that the challenges we face are real.
Okay. So he's saying, yeah, we're in trouble. And he's saying, there's this fear that America's done for and our standard of living is going to go down. You hear NPR bragging, decades ago, America's got too much money, got too much energy. Globalism will teach us to tighten up our belt. I remember arguing with globalists, at corporate events and things I've gone to around the country. And they'll go, Alex, of course globalism wants to lower America. We have to raise the third world. And I go, it's not to raise the third world, it's to get control of them. So see, they're the ones, the Club of Rome, CFR, all of them, that in their own policy reports say they wanted to deindustrialize us so they could socialize us, get control of us, destroy the middle class, disarm us, domesticate us. Use Americans as an engine for global domination, as a military district where they get their Hessian mercenaries. So again, here is Obama laying out this plan that will save us when they are the very people that have engineered all this. I'm going slow through this because it's important.
I say to you that the challenges we face are real. They are serious and they are many. They will not be met easily or in a short span of time. But know this, America, they will be met.
So then he puts out this thing, we're in trouble, we've got bad confidence, things are bad, but don't worry, they will be met. I've got a solution. I'm going to make it okay for you. And then everything he's saying he's going to do is the exact same policies by design, not by accident, that brought us here.
On this day, we gather because we have chosen hope over fear, unity of purpose over conflict and discord. On this day, we come to proclaim an end to the petty grievances and false promises, the recriminations and worn-out dogmas that for far too long have strangled our politics.
Okay.